that can lead to amputation. And these are very significant ramifications of illicit drug use. Now, right now, xylazine is a Schedule I controlled substance, which means it has no medically approved use in the United States. It was first seen in Puerto Rico, and then it was seen in the city of Philadelphia. And now it's being reported that we see this drug all throughout the United States. In Philadelphia, when they looked at the presence of xylazine and they tested the illicit narcotics that were being recovered off the streets of Philadelphia, in 90% of them, they were finding that there was a presence of xylazine in the drugs. So why is it that this xylazine is being added into these drugs? It's being added to opioid drugs significantly because it reduces the cost of opioids and it increases the high, right? So drug dealers that are making these and adulterating these drugs are doing it for profit at harm, obviously, to the folks that they're giving it to. And the problem is it's turning them into drug zombies. That's the reality, right? They're turning into living zombies, which are creating necrotic flesh that can lead to amputation. And as they've both said, the general said and the sheriff has said, Narcan won't work because xylazine is not an opioid. Okay, so it will not work. So when law enforcement and first responders are there trying to save your life, it's not going to make a difference. And this is an alarming trend, and for that's why I'm grateful to General Moody for highlighting this problem and being here to share that with us. And as the general said, in 2021, we had 236 deaths in Florida as a result of xylazine. And on average, in 2021, we saw that there were 22 people that die every day from a drug overdose. 22 people. And now, with the dangers of fentanyl being mixed with xylazine, what we fear, and the reason that we're here, is that we fear that those numbers are going to increase, so it'll be greater than the 22. So together, as a community, we can make a difference. We have to be looking out for one another and looking for those signs and indicators if somebody may be in need of treatment. And as the sheriff said, he has an amazing recovery pod. We have a very robust drug court program. And one of the things that unfortunately I've said is the price for admission into some of the very best treatment programs is you have to be arrested to go into the Sarasota County Jail and get that recovery pot. Or you have to be arrested and go into the court system in order to get the drug court program. But we have other programs out in the community, so we hope that people take notice because right now, life is in peril for those that choose this life. So in the meantime, for those that are peddling these drugs, those that are in possession of these drugs, I can assure you law enforcement here stands shoulder to shoulder, and we stand together as prosecutors and with the Attorney General that we will fully prosecute those that possess and those that peddle this poison. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Special Agent in Charge Eli Lawson with FDLE Fort Myers. Our Fort Myers region, just for context, encompasses Manatee County, south to Collier, and eastward to Okeechobee County. It's an honor for me to be here today to discuss this important issue, the dangers of xylazine and other drugs that it's mixed with, and to show for public awareness the commitment that your law enforcement partners have in combating this dangerous drug. This emerging trend, xylazine drug cocktails mixed with fentanyl, heroin, and others, as you've already heard, is extremely dangerous, extremely addictive, and poses what is already an opioid epidemic exponentially becomes worse now with this introduction of this substance. Drug traffickers, cartels, gangs, whatever, have this readily available to them. It's, as you heard, it's being cut into other substances to increase profits and to increase the effects of drugs like fentanyl. Xylazine, we've heard it called trank and zombie, as you have heard, seen the effects of it as you've already heard today. It's literally rotting flesh from intravenous drug users, just like this. These are all too common in hospitals across the state. Simply said, animal tranquilizer is not intended for human use, period. You've heard that Narcan is not effective, and that's very true. I would point out it is still effective for those drugs that it is mixed with, so there is some benefit of it. Just to bring you a few data sets from FDLE, we have six state crime labs across the state, including one that services Southwest Florida and Fort Myers. Xylazine, when it was first put as a controlled substance in 2016, FDLE immediately began to analyze substances for the presence of xylazine. We had less than 2 dozen cases that year. I think it was around 22. Fast forward all the way up to this first quarter of 2023, and we're on track for 650 cases this year alone. As you heard Ms. Moody say, 2 years ago, it was the 11th most common drug. It went to 9, now 6. It's the sixth most commonly encountered substance at FDLE chemistry labs, right behind common drugs like heroin and cocaine and fentanyl. Xylazine, I think we've impressed upon you the serious threat that it poses. It's growing in frequency. It's inundating our laboratories. It's causing overdoses, amputations, and of course, unfortunately, deaths. We are seeing it a lot more in our crime labs, processing it for FDLE investigations and our partner agencies. But I want to express that FDLE is committed to our partnership in stopping the flow of dangerous drugs into our communities to protect our citizens and visitors. It's partnerships like these, and especially for Ms. Moody, for Mr. Brodsky in prosecuting these cases, to bring an impact to this epidemic that we're seeing in our area. Thank you for having us today.
All right, that was